Shalom. First and foremost, going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Alright, just finna get into this quick lesson. Alright, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Alright, the brother Barzal had already did it on Margaret Sanger. Alright, but I just wanted to hit some points. I was just reading some scriptures yesterday or last night, and I was reading about her at the same time. She just popped up on my she ain't just popped up. I had already had her queued up on my Google stuff, Then I just started reading into her, and the precepts I was reading into, it was kind of lining up with it, But here, just get straight into it. The brother Barzal had already did it, but I'm, just adding some quick points. There we go.
In her own words, Sanger pushed for a society that limited births to those she deemed fit to have children.
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born.
In 1916, Sanger opened the country's first birth control clinic. As a member of the American Eugenics Society, she advocated improving the genetic composition of humans through controlled reproduction of different races and classes. She often wrote about the issue in the journal she founded, called the Birth Control Review. In 1919, writing,
I personally believe in the sterilization of the feeble-minded, the insane, and the syphilitic.
See? And look, Margaret Sanger, see what she was on? All right. And who would be the so-called feeble mind to the so-called, white race? That would be us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, we're the feeble to them. They look at us like. Matter of fact, they wrote it in they stuff that we're 3/5 of a man, or they're, the so-called Negroes are 3/5 of a man. All right. And yeah, she's going against the first commandment, that Yahweh Shah gave us, Genesis 1 and verse 26. And Elohim said, let us make men in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon earth. And that, we was made in Yahweh Bashim Shah's image, through, we received order, the law, statutes, and commandments, But verse 27, so the Elohim created man in his own image, in the image of Yahweh. In the image of Yahweh Bashim Shah created he him, male and female created he them. And the Elohim blessed them. And the Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it. So see, we're supposed to replenish the earth. All right, we're supposed to bring forth our seed. All right, not destroy them as soon as they come out. And guess what? Here, let me read into this one right here. Because that's as that video was was saying in the top, it said the dark side, all right, because in this world, all right, it paints, you know, her to be something decent, like she was really helping out communities, you know. So, you know, this is her right here. Ugly. But look, going to African American community. It says, women of all races and religions were served by Sanger's birth control clinics. Sanger did not tolerate bigotry among her staff. So basically discrimination, you know. She ain't so-called, you know, the word bigotry here. Prejudice can be an effective feeling towards a person based on the perceived social group membership. So see? So-called, so she wasn't so-called, you know, being racist, you know, which that was, it's lucky. Lost my train of thought with that one, but yeah. So see, trying to paint it as good because in that time, you know, they were, you know, Jake couldn't do the same things that Esau could at the time. You know, but guess what? Sanger came through and gave him. You know, birth control clinics. Salaki, it's just extra loud and stuff. But yeah, gave us birth control clinics. You know, and painted it, you know, to be good, you know, to the world. Like she actually did something for us, you know. It says, nor would she tolerate any refusal to work within interracial projects. So see? And why didn't she refuse? Why didn't she refuse it or anything? Because they want to kill are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know? Just like in the time of Egypt, you know? Well, what did Pharaoh tell the midwives to do? To slay them, to slay the, let me go into that real quick, just real quick. You know, to slay the man-child, you know? Look, Exodus 1 and verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shipra, and the other name, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. All right? So see, they want to kill off, Esau wants to kill off our nation. Just like, you know, Pharaoh was trying to do. You know, because that's the forwarding of a nation, you know, through the men, you know. And guess what? We're in Egypt again. This is a spiritual Egypt, as you know, Revelations, you know, 11th chapter goes into. You know, Deuteronomy 28, you know. This is a spiritual Egypt. It does the same customs, you know, and this is one of them. You know, killing our the promotion of killing our little ones, you know. So guess what? You're gonna pay for that, you know? You're not finna get away with this. Let me see. I think it might be 34 or 30. Slovakia. I think it's right here. Oh. Damn, all these cars. Crazy cars. I I was just reading. I just highlighted it. Salaki, give me a second. Oh, Salaki is 28. Psalms 28 and verse 3. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. So see, speaking that peace, you know. They painted that picture of, oh, this, you know, she actually did something for the community when the times were, back in them days, they couldn't do the same things, as the so-called white people. But look what she did. She came through with a great plan, But guess what? It was all the promotion for, the killing of our seed, And here, let me get that in NLT too. Psalms 28 verse 3. Do not drag me away with the wicked, with those who do evil, those who speak friendly words to their neighbors while planning evil in their hearts. So see, they plan that evil in their heart. Hey, we're gonna get them with this, Cause look, hey, we ain't supposed to be doing that. As the first commandment was, this is concerning Israel, but they understand that makes the Lord mad, the killing, of our seed, that makes the Lord mad, But this is Psalms 106 and verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning, whom the Lord commanded them. This is going into, the time of us coming out of Egypt, going into our land, It said, but we're mingled among the heathen and learned the works. All right. Yeah, we will put on the customs of the heathens, We'll do the same things that the Lord commanded us not to do, And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. All right, so they understand that makes the Lord mad, the sacrificing of their children, and that's exactly what you're doing with Planned Parenthood and shit. These abortion clinics. All right, that's a sacrifice. Y'all Bashim Al-Shah, that makes the Lord angry. And guess what? That's what they promoted for us. Trying to keep us, in trouble, with Yah Bashim Al-Shah. They don't, it's not just a physical thing, but it's also in every way, Esau's trying to get you. He's getting us, But hey, you're not. Hey, the Lord sees everything that you're doing. Yeah, you might put the blame on us. You might look at our people and be like, oh, this is a fucked up nation. But who the one that promotes us to be degenerates, and against Yah Bashim Al-Shah? Who's the one that's in powership right now? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The so-called white man can, easily, tell us that we're the nation of Israel. All right, your God is Yah Bashim Al-Shah. All right, you shouldn't be doing, you should be following the law. They could easily do that, but nah, these people hate us. The so-called white race hates us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, And guess what? Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he hates you. You know? But here, let's get this. Amos 1 and verse 11. It said, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." All right, a never-ending cycle of, hatred, has always been shown to us by the so-called white race, That's why, that's why, the abortion clinics and things of that nature is promoted, to keep us away from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, so we can always be under their hands, and they could do whatever they want to do with us, So, hey, the Lord is not going to forget about this, The Lord is about to destroy Babylon the Great, aka America, for everything you have done to the nation of Israel. Let me go back to that video, just real quick.
Politic. The most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the over-fertility of the mentally and physically defective.
Many point to a 1923 New York Times interview as proof of Sanger's racist motives, in which she referred to people as weeds, saying,
"It means the release and cultivation of the better racial elements in our society, and the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual..."
See, and look how they was talking about us. Oh, we're the weeds of the earth, of their civilization, Basically, we're of no use, They need to get rid of us. We're kind of a plague here, That's what she's saying. So that's why that shit's promoted. See, America is full of darkness, as the scriptures say,
Extirpation of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization.
Children in the world, for those in the know, that's a direct shot at the nation of Israel. The scriptures are written to the nation of Israel, who again are your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's what she said there was a direct shot at the first commandment in Genesis chapter 1.
A racist eugenicist that looked at black people or anybody with a disability as less than, and she wanted to literally put us on islands and be away from the rest of society. She wanted to put birth control in our water.
See, so these people are, and that Wikipedia that I was reading into, it wasn't saying all this, how she just basically hates, Judah, and wants to just put us away. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is seeing all of this, and he's remembering it, and he's bringing it forth to the light, because that's what has to be done first before the destruction of them. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed. All right, the wicked being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's been revealed. All right, he himself, the so-called white race, has been revealed who they truly are. They are the biblical Edomites, all right, whom the Lord hath indignation forever, The Lord is preparing, the downfall of Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, but first, the wicked had to be revealed. Their wicked schemes, all of that. You know, it says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Yep. So yeah, the spirit of his mouth being the prophets. All right, the prophets are out here, exposing them, through Apostle Tahar on down, the apostles Tahar's, elders, all right, been exposing this so-called white man, It says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So yeah, Esau Edom is going to be destroyed by Yahweh Shah. All right, when Yahweh Shah comes back, all right, cracks some clouds, guess what? He's going to take part in the downfall of Babylon the Great, aka America too. All right, with the missiles, all right, angels, all that,
Water systems to make sure that black people weren't reproducing. And still, even though that was way back in the 20s when she was kicking it, today still 88% of Planned Parenthood's mega facilities are located within walking distance of black and minority communities. Right. So as
all right, look at that. 88%, what did it say?
Was kicking it. Today, still, 88% of Planned Parenthood's mega facilities are located within.
See, so they're located, the facilities, all right, they're located in our neighborhoods and they're walking distances. So see, it's all promoted, the downfall of us is all promoted and easy access, and that's fucked up. But, you got to understand, this is the wicked that we're dealing with. The wicked. What is that at? Ezekiel. Ezekiel 25 and verse 12. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah. God, Salakia, y'all. All this fucking noise. But it says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I will stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. So see, hey, that payback is coming. All right, the Lord is seeing all the treacherous, the treacherous works that you have been, doing against the nation of Israel, to Judah, Yahweh Shem Yahushua ain't forget. All right. And the Lord is making us remember, all right, and know, But the Lord said he's going to stretch out his hand, all right, to the point where, hey, there ain't no man and beast. And what is that going into? The destruction of Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, all right? This place is going to be totally destroyed by nuclear missiles, all right? Yahweh Shai and the angels, all right? It says, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger, and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. So see, hey, the Lord is going to allow us to put our hands on you, Esau. All right? For everything. The Lord is going to put his spirit in us to remember everything he has done. All right, he's going to put his anger in us. All right, we're going to be remembering things, going to be popping up in our head. It's going to be all in our head, And guess what? We're going just beat your head in, This is what's coming, for you so-called the white race, So that was it on that.
Walking distance of Black and minority communities. Right. So as much as Planned Parenthood wants to say, we don't agree with Margaret Sanger, we don't represent her views, every single year we're getting more and more facilities within our communities. The biggest abortion provider.
Yeah, and Planned Parenthood,
So yeah, hey, that was pretty much it, I just wanted to, just get into that, so Lord willing, Salakia, let me get the main precept, I'm tripping. Here, Obadiah 1 and verse 18, it says, Obadiah 1 and 11, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Yep. How's that shame covering Esau? Through us exposing them. All right, Esau being exposed of all their wicked deeds. All right, it's all being exposed of how you treated us during the times of slavery, the abominable acts you've done to us. All right, what your schemes really are, what you're really up to, It says, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Yep. Hey, we're coming into the times where Esau, the so-called white man, their race is about to be put out, abolished. All right, it's not going to be a such thing as a Edomite soon, That's prophecy. Here, Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. Stubble going into like nothing, They're going to be nothing. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So see, there ain't going to be no such thing as an Edomite soon. After you serve your 1,000 years of slavery, This is what's coming. All right. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKavadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders, great millstone. All right, shalom.